Okay, hi. Today I'm going to attempt at making some egg tagliatelle pasta. The ingredients I'm going to use are very basic ingredients, and as it's my first practice I'm going to be making just enough for one person. So here are the ingredients. This is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using everyday plain flour, all-purpose flour as Americans call it, I believe, and approximately I'm going to use around 200 grams of flour. So I'm just going to put that out on the bench, and that's, you know, just over a cup and a half of flour. And what I'm going to do is just make a little well, a little hole in the middle of this mound of flour, and there are only a few other ingredients that we're going to need to make the pasta. They are 1 egg, maybe possibly 2, depending on how well it mixes and your own feel, and whether the texture gets too tough or not. That might moisten it up a little bit. A small amount of olive oil and a pinch of table salt, and that is it. So all you do is put in the egg in the flour and give it a little whisk, and then start to fold in the flour. And then once it's not too moist, then you can start using your hands. Now what I'm going to do is, before I start crushing it all together, I'm going to just pour in a little bit of oil in there, and then add my pinch of salt. And here goes. You just got to get your hands in. Just get stuck in. That egg yolk is still quite runny. And then just gradually work in the flour with the moisture. What we're left with, this is what we've been trying to accomplish, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, this took me around 5-6 minutes to just push together with the flour and the egg, a little bit of oil and the salt, and midway through it was getting a little bit dry, starting to break up a little bit. So all I did was added another egg and just persevere. It might get a bit sticky whilst you're pushing it all together, but stay with it, and you know, use your own technique, whatever suits you best. You should get a little bit of a sweat on whilst you're doing this, otherwise you're not doing it properly. And what you'll find is you're left with a nice non-sticky dough like this, which is going to be perfect for your pasta. What we're going to do now is I'm going to wrap this in cling film and leave it to rest for, I don't know, around half an hour, maybe to an hour. Wrap it up. And let it rest. Okay, so now we've let the dough rest for approximately 35-40 minutes. What we need to do now is we need to start forming the pasta tagliatelle. And to do that, what we're going to do next is we're going to chop the dough in half, and we're going to roll it extremely thin. So keep the cling film there, because once you've got your pasta the amount that you want to work with, you can just pop that back inside the wrapping, keep it off to one side, and use it again. So let's make sure that everything's, there you go. Okay, now first of all you want to use your palm of your hand and just, by your knuckles or whatever it is you feel you can put the most pressure on, and get it quite flat. Okay, before you start using the rolling pin, you could even establish, you know, a shape, you know, oval or rectangular, because this is the shape that you're going to use and work with whilst you're rolling out the pasta. And it's essential really that you get it as flat as you can, so have a nice clear open space. And here goes, I'm going to start rolling. Okay, you can see at this point that the pasta is really quite transparent, so it's almost at the you know, the desired you know, thickness or thinness, so to speak. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to continue to roll a little bit more, because it's quite fat at this end. And what you should find is that it should roll and not break. That's how you know that the pasta is the right consistency and you've got the mix right. So as you can see, again now, the pasta is really quite transparent, and it's pretty much ready. You don't want any creases in the pasta, and mine's just started to break a little bit, and that's because I've rolled it so thin. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut it in half. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bit in just a moment, but what I'm going to do here is start to form the tagliatelle. So what you're going to do is fold it again, fold it again, and so on and so on. Okay, and then what you want to do is you just want to chop this, well, it's to your preference, but anywhere from ½ an inch thick really. Okay. Hi again. So I've cut up both pieces of the pasta tagliatelle, and what I'm going to do now is simply put it in some salted boiling water, and I'm going to let that boil for around 2 to 3 minutes, and then that'll just make the pasta just soft enough when you bite into it. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so it's time to transfer the pasta into the pan. So I'm going to take this pasta now and drop it into the pan of boiling water. Take this last little bit, turn up the heat, bring it to the boil, and I'll come back to you when I've taken it. Okay, so this is the result. The pasta's now been boiled and you know, drained, and as you can see, the pasta's expanded. So I could have possibly chopped it a little bit thinner, but that's all down to personal preference. Okay, so basically now what you need to do is get it onto your plate.